This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Right now, a 13-year-old girl is still in critical condition after a gunman shot her in the head. Tonight, the community of Alton is preparing to come together to rally for her recovery. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Ann Allred. Kelly Jackson is out on assignment. The shooting happened Saturday, and investigators say the girl was not the intended target. Our Justina Cornell joins us live from Alton, where a prayer vigil will start in about an hour.
The victim's name is Renaya Stewart. Now, we've learned she's from Alton, but she happened to be at a family member's house when this all happened Saturday afternoon. Now, just yesterday, the Madison County Prosecuting Attorney's Office charged two 19-year-olds with attempted first-degree murder. Alvin Perry III and Rayshawn Colvin are accused of firing a gun in the direction of the victim, striking her in the head as she was standing on the porch outside. Right now, we're told Stewart is still in the hospital, and her cousins tell me she is slowly improving. The shooting took place in Alderwoman Rosie Brown's ward, and she helped set up a prayer vigil tonight for the teen with another community advocate.
We are 100% with the family, with all the families who have been affected by gun violence in our community.
Our Alton comes together, and we are with this family. We are here for Renaya, and we are Renaya strong in Alton. Alton is going to always be here for her from this point on.
We're told the Madison County prosecutor is seeking a pretrial detention for the suspects, which would mean they would be held in jail until trial. Reporting in Alton, Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
The man accused of shooting a Granite City police officer is dead after a gun battle in southern Illinois.
The I-Team's Christine Byers is here with new details about the suspected shooter and why he was no longer behind bars despite being convicted of murder just 8 years ago. Christine?
Court records show Donald Freeze was convicted of second-degree murder back in 2016 and sentenced to 12 years in prison. But Illinois law allowed him to be eligible for parole after serving just half of that sentence. In 2013, Freeze intentionally caused a wreck that led to the death of an 18-year-old girl. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison and got credit for time served. He got out in 2020 and finished parole 2 years later. But his run-ins with the law continued. In December, he was arrested for trying to flee from police. Then, Tuesday night, Granite City police were called to a home for a disturbance. Freeze was outside and got into a scuffle with officers, shooting one of them in the arm. After a 22-hour manhunt, a license plate reader caught Freeze driving in Cape Girardeau. He refused to stop and drove into oncoming traffic to avoid their spike strips. Then, Freeze's vehicle got stuck in a field in East Cape Girardeau, Illinois. He barricaded himself inside and opened fire on officers. They returned fire, killing him. Now, at the time of his murder conviction, Freeze told the court he had 4 children. Meanwhile, the wounded Granite City police officer has been released from the hospital and is back home with his family.
Today, a man was sentenced to 10 years in prison for killing a 7-year-old child and her father. Darian Rankin Fleming and his daughter Demaya Fleming were killed 2 years ago. They were shot while sitting in a car in the Central West End. Andre Anderson took a plea deal, pleading guilty to involuntary manslaughter. Another man, Javon Nettles, was also sentenced to 10 years in prison back in October.
Missouri Senate voted against exceptions for rape or incest in the state's abortion law. Right now, abortions in Missouri are only legal for a medical emergency. Democrats say the law goes too far. Republican Rick Bratton called abortion an atrocity, claiming birth could, quote, be the greatest healing agent to victims of rape or incest. A St. Louis Republican is pushing for an amendment allowing abortions for up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. If Jamie Corley's amendment goes through, abortions would also be allowed in cases of rape, incest, and deadly fetal abnormalities.
Let's get to that weather first forecast. Windy today, but we were close to a record high. Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Castillo. Beautiful feeling out there.
Yeah, gorgeous out there. You know, we're still very clear, so we cleared out. We had more sunshine than what we thought we'd have early in the day. So 65 right now, just amazing temperatures. And 69 was that high. The record stands at 70 back in 1990, and we started out this morning at 49. We're going to do that again tonight. Couple spot showers only around Greene County in Illinois, northern Greene County. But look at this, some severe weather popping up in northern Illinois, even Peoria. A severe thunderstorm warning, and there was a tornado actually on the ground around Henry, Illinois, a few minutes ago, but that lifted. And still watching northern areas of Illinois tonight, but for us, it is generally clear, and we're very gusty at the moment. But the wind dies down or relaxes as we get into the overnight hours. And look how mild it's going to be again, about 50 for that overnight low. So beautiful sunset tonight. Can you believe we're talking snow showers Monday morning? We'll talk about that coming up in Maine Weather.
All right, Jim, thanks. Developing news out of Washington, D.C., where local victims of radioactive waste may have new hope tonight.
Senator Josh Hawley is once again pushing to add Missouri to a federal compensation act. 5 on your side's Tracy Hinson is in the studio with new details as local advocates visit the nation's capital.
Mike and Ann, Senator Hawley announced this afternoon that he's filed an amendment to reauthorize the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. He's attaching it to the foreign aid package that's currently being debated in the U.S. Senate. The act, also known as RECA, provides federal compensation to people who have been exposed to nuclear waste. Several states are already included in RECA, but Missouri is not one of them. Today in Washington, D.C., Hawley met with St. Louis advocates and politicians, including Don Chapman of Just Moms STL and Missouri Representative Tricia Burns. They shared their personal stories of cancer clusters related to radiation from Westlake Landfill and Coldwater Creek. They were joined by advocates from across the country, including Matthew Cappleby. He's a longtime advocate from Arizona who says he thinks their fight is working.
We are very hopeful that our advocacy, especially the families from Missouri, have been so effective. I've been at this for many years, but I've never seen such effective advocacy as I have from the people of Missouri.
Now, it is important to note the foreign aid bill where this amendment was attached is unlikely to pass Congress, and critics, including some of his own party, have said Senator Hawley has not gone through the proper vetting process.
More than 100 workers are being laid off at a soap company in North St. Louis. This is at Henkel North America. That's the parent company of Dial Soap, Snuggle, and Purex. The company spokesperson tells us it made the decision to lay off workers after a recent assessment of operations. 102 employees are losing their jobs. Henkel tells us all of them will receive severance pay.
Now to a developing story out of southeast Missouri. Missouri's Attorney General has filed criminal charges against Cape Girardeau County Coroner. Wavis Jordan is accused of stealing cash from a dead person, lying on multiple death certificates, failing to investigate causes of death, and failing to collect blood. The Attorney General charged Jordan with a misdemeanor and several felonies. Today, a judge removed him from office. If convicted, Jordan could get up to 12 years in prison and a $10,000 fine.
Will former President Trump stay on Colorado's primary ballot? How the Supreme Court is reacting to the issue.
Remembering a fallen Wentzville Marine, how you can support our troops in honor of Lance Corporal Jared Schmidt.